Hey, welcome to Life Beyond Board Games, where board gamers just like you share stories, challenges, and secrets outside of board gaming. We'll hopefully make you feel good, laugh, cringe, cry, or maybe even fall asleep. I'm Melissa from the bedroom.
I'm Stella from Maple University.
I'm Eric from What's Eric Playing?
And today, we are also joined by a special co-host. It's a friend who I can't check it off by her request. Isabel! Hello! Thank you for joining us.
Hi, everyone! Stella's been trying to shake me for 10 years and hasn't managed it yet, but any day now, I figure she probably thinks she'll wake up without the fleas, you know?
Nonsense. Happy for you to join us. Now, today we have a special guest also, one of the two of the ThinkerThemer duo who prefers theme over mechanics, a famous YouTuber focused on review based in Melbourne, Australia. Here's Maggie! Hello!
Hello! Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
That was so pizzazzed.
Razzle dazzle.
Sorry, it's midnight here on the West Coast, so I'm very much just like, that's a lot of pizzazz no matter what.
So the rest of us is in Melbourne, and Eric, the only one in Seattle, US. I'm sorry, Eric.
It's very weird to be the minority in the US, you know what I mean? It's like a lot of things are very much like America centric, that being the one person who the one person out of five who is in the States is kind of odd. It's fun. Just
sorry.
Odd. Not a big deal.
Speaking about Australia and US, we are actually going to Tokyo. Tokyo Games Market. What we mainly going to talk about today, Maggie? I heard you are pretty familiar with the layout of Tokyo and Tokyo Games Market and everything Japanesey, from food to people and so on.
Well, we do love Japan, so Amy and I go to Japan quite a fair bit. It's one of those destinations from Australia that is probably one of the easier ones to get to, and also then if you get a good deal with flights, once you get there, you can eat pretty cheaply and you can kind of get around fairly cheaply. So that's another bonus. But yeah, we love the Tokyo Game Market, and so it happens twice a year, and it's a great excuse whenever. And it's at the better seasons because it's spring and autumn, because both winter and summer are pretty intense in Japan. So it's the perfect excuse. So now I think we've been to 8 so far. So again, because they happen twice a year, you can kind of rack them up quite quickly. Yeah, but yeah, it's a unique thing. Yeah.
Oh, what month are they?
So usually now you're kind of testing my
isn't
memory.
it like May and November?
Yeah, May. Yeah, it's usually like May and yeah, it's either October or November, around that. Yeah.
Yeah, because a few times they overlapped with PAX Unplugged. I'm
saying
this is just someone who's very interested in going but hasn't been able to get the logistics worked out.
That's very true. Yes. Yeah, those are usually the two key times. Yeah.
Sounds like you can give us all the tips we need to go to Japan, Tokyo, and Tokyo Games Market.
Well, look, I think you've got the of the Thinker and the Themer, you've got the wrong one in terms of the spreadsheet of tips, because Amy's the one that keeps the very organized Google Maps with all of the different destinations everywhere that we've gone. I usually don't even know where we're going.
So tell us more about the vibes then.
Yeah, I will tell you the vibes. I will speak to the vibes comfortably. So I think we've gone now to Tokyo quite a few times, and usually the Tokyo Game Market is a little bit further out, usually about 45 minutes by a train, and so now our favorite thing is to either try and stay very close to the kind of convention hall where they have it. Because then you can kind of do the whole back and forth really easily, and then be very close to everything at the end of the day to kind of play games, that sort of stuff. But the other good tip is they actually have a lot of hotels that are out of the train station, so you can actually stay in Akihabara or some of those really cool places, and they're not that expensive, and they're just super convenient because again, the public transport there is really, really great. But yeah, it's such a great, that Tokyo Game Market is just such a great show, because it's so unique in that it's just so, a lot of it is just designers with just 50 to 100 copies of their game that you may never see again. They just kind of made those. And so you have this sort of super indie experience. Also, like, the language barrier kind of brings in its own charm. People are really lovely, and so even though they can't really, like, sometimes you struggle to communicate, everyone's really trying a lot, like super hard to like explain their game. And the artwork is so cute for so many of the things and so unique that it's actually it's very difficult to hold back and go, I can't, like, this is still going to be like $20 here, $20 there. It still adds up, but it's like, it's too tempting.
Well, they take it pretty seriously as like the hobby element, right? Where it's like they're not just making products, they're like making art.
Oh yeah. It's such, every one of those games is such a piece, like such a passion project. Like they've just poured their heart and soul into it. A lot of times, a lot of the components are very handmade as well, and so it also kind of feels like a bit of a and they're also small. So because they're very big on like card games, and they're very kind of conscientious about space in their homes. They don't really tend to do the big, massive box, heavy Euro type thing. It's all these like card games. They're huge on trick taking and shedders type games. And so, a lot of them are just very like handcraft sort of things, and so quirky. They can be so creative with, the spin-off of themes and things like that. Yeah.
So Jisogi is like a huge board game compared to the other games like the Trick Takers or the quirky little. Wow.
Yeah, you're not picking up a Gloomhaven there.
No. I mean, you could, like, you have a couple of areas where you have like the bigger distributors that are localizing those bigger stuff, but it's not really. Most of the charm of the Tokyo game market is all those small productions, all those small boxes, all those kind of indie designers, and then finding the golden kind of the treasure of the market, where you're like, you find the game that is like, this is just so creative, it's so amazing, and then you hope that it gets picked up and gets broader distribution, and then so that's the other joy of that.
I've been pleased to see that some of the shows, I think Gen Con did it, but I know PAX does it, but they do their like little indie night markets now, sort of modeled after the like Tokyo Game Market thing. So you're seeing a lot of like designers with their 50 prints, 100 prints of a game, and I think it's a similar idea to that. It makes being a reviewer a little tough because there's not really a like. It's not that there's no point to reviewing a game that only has 50 copies, but it means that like the practicality of that review is sort of diminished pretty significantly.
Yeah, because also then people, even if people are like, oh, that sounds super interesting, where do I get it? It's like, oh, you can't. So it's like, oh, great, okay, so what do I do?
Yeah, and I don't really like, as a reviewer, I don't love covering games that are unpurchasable.
Yeah. We get a lot of comments when that happens,
I find a certain hipster appeal to it, though. Yeah. When you're like, oh yeah, I've got this great game. Sorry, you can't get it. It's great. I just love doing that to people, actually. Maybe that's just a me problem, but it's just got that hipster appeal of like, oh yeah, you wouldn't know this game. She goes to Canada, It's like...
Just book a plane ticket. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know it's not about that, right? It's about discovering something that you're so passionate about, and people go to your channel to see what they should get, and publishers go there and what game should I pick up and publish worldwide, right?
They also have a really healthy secondhand market with their games, even with the small box games. So sometimes if you have stuff that is like, this was an excellent game and it gets a second print, or there's a lot of secondhand shops there where they're so careful with, and obviously like in general, like the Japanese people are so careful with their stuff, with items, with the stewardship of items. So the condition of most secondhand items is just pristine. So you can often, even if you find something that's like, oh, this is super hard to get, then when you're going in subsequent trips, and we've done videos before where we've kind of got like these other shops that we love to go check out, like there's Yellow Submarine, and there's like so all these other places, and like the places that sell secondhand, you can find some of those like stuff that was like a Tokyo Game Market thing, and now it's sort of sitting in one of those shops, or because it got broader release but only locally within Japan, and now it's like you can find it at any, sometimes even bookstore in Japan, but just not anywhere else yet. So
well, speaking about secondhand, I heard that they have secondhand undies in vending machine. Is that correct?
I've never seen it, but I guess that hasn't really been on my radar.
Like it must be a pristine.
I was like, is this a board game thing, Stella?
Who told you this, Stella? I have heard of it online. I have heard
No,
of it.
but it's like speaking about Japan.
Are you just asking about Japan writ large?
Yes. This is Life Beyond Board Games. It's not just about board game. All right.
Well, are you interested in making a side business? Is that why you're asking?
Yeah, I was supposed to
No,
say, you can just sell that stuff online if you're interested. People will buy bathwater.
Side hustle, yeah.
Side hustle, yeah. No, that's...
I love that you all assume that Stella wants to be a provider and not a buyer. You know? Like...
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. Stella's asking for a friend.
Yes, I'm asking for a friend. Thank you. I swear that's what they say.
Yeah, Stella's really trying to get on the ground floor with this, like just being like, Maggie, are people selling their used underwear? If not, can I get in on the ground floor? You're sitting on a gold mine.
I can't say that I have seen that or anything around it, but again, it's also not really been on my radar. So I may have missed it.
So you're not in the market for secondhand underwear, is what you're saying?
No, not at the moment. I can't hand on heart say I am.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I'm glad we can
That's good to
confirm that here on the site.
Yes,
but if I were to go, I'd love to visit Japan again and go to that market. But is there
and get some secondhand underwear? Yes.
Now I'm definitely motivated. But was there a language barrier? Like for me, I speak very little Japanese. Like, how do you get in depth with test games, or just how do you navigate not speaking Japanese?
Yeah. There is definitely a language barrier. Some people do speak a little bit of English, or some people speak really, really good English, actually. But by and large, you would usually almost just be asking for if they happen to have English rules. So a lot of them will print out English rule book. And then there's also we do a lot of pre-work before we go. So we do a lot of research in terms of what are the games that are going to be available. So we also, because Tokyo Game Market has a great a pre-order system, so you can actually reserve a lot of the games are open for reserve before you go, and you don't actually have to pay for it until you're there on the day. So the way that they kind of work it, which I think is quite interesting, is you just reserve. It's usually like a Google form, and they will hold it until 2:00. And if you haven't picked it up and bought it by 2:00, it's released. And so then people who didn't make the reserve or whatever, they'll go in and they'll buy it at that point. So it really does mean that if you do that in advance, you can then have all of the stuff that you want, and also do the research to make sure that you're not getting games that are going to be very language dependent. So obviously we get a lot of like trick taker stuff that is like you only really need to see numbers or iconography, and that's it. But I think more and more, particularly the more we've actually ourselves even done coverage, and even like other channels have started to do more coverage of Tokyo Game Market, there's been more effort from the designers and to try and promote to each other, even of like make sure to have an English rules. You really stand out like walking around, so they'll often be like English rules, or like if they speak English they'll kind of like they're gonna say
I'd be excited if they had
I was gonna say, even machine translation isn't as bad as it used to be. So like if you're doing it with your phone, it's not terrible. But it is kind of funny when you compare it to something like Gen Con last week. Like Gen Con has some of the stores have pre-orders, but most of them don't. So a lot of them are just functioning on that 10 a.m. FOMO of just people trying to get in and get something. And people keep saying it sure would be nice if they just had pre-orders. But
it's interesting because not all the designers or all the booths offer it, but a lot of them do. And so it means that then you don't have to worry about as soon as it opens, I need to rush and get there. Or it's like you have that peace of mind that you've got those things booked. And then you'll just sort of calmly make your way there, and then maybe you'll kind of prioritize the other stuff. And you're not committed in the sense of if you go there and you have a look and you're like, actually, I don't think I want this. You haven't paid anything, and it's like they just release it at 2:00, and then other people can buy it, kind of thing.
I think some of the other cons are relying on the idea that in your rush to get there, you'll also see other things the publisher is selling that you want, and so there's that further economic role. Whereas if you're pre-ordering, you're just going to pre-order the stuff you care the most about.
That's true. Yeah, because often, but the thing that happens in Tokyo Game Market is usually when you pre-order, most of the booths are only ever really selling 1 or 2 games. So it's not like a Gen Con where you have, a lot of the publishers that have, they might have 10, 20 games that they have available at any given time. And and usually when you go in there and you're looking for a game that might have been from a previous market, they're like, no, that's completely sold out. It's like, no, because it's usually because if you're looking for it, it's because it's like, it was a really good one kind of thing.
Right.
But I can see that point.
Well, then you have to hope that it gets
exactly, and gets broader distribution, which a lot of them do when they're really good.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, like All Play actually. Yeah, All Play's been picking up a lot of those, and like a lot of different. Because they've been doing obviously like they do the kind of smaller box, and they do a lot of kind of some of the trick taking stuff.
All Play gets Oink has wide distribution, and then there are a few other publishers that are starting to like.
Asmodee as well.
One of my favorite thematic games is from Japan, Tragedy Leaper. I just think that's the most interesting and creative game. Do you know it?
I don't know it. No, tell me more about it.
It's pretty interesting.
So it's based on a few kind of sort of anime properties that are effectively like one person is the mastermind who has some kind of evil plot, and the other 3 players, basically has to be 4, are time travelers who are trying to stop the mastermind from doing whatever it is they're doing. But they don't know what the mastermind is trying to do. So the mastermind will just do things on the board and they'll be like, oh yeah, you guys lost. And then they'll restart and you'll try and work out, wait, why did we lose? What was the thing that caused us to lose? And you kind of...
Oh, wow.
And then you've got like 3 attempts. And if you can't work out what the mastermind's up to after 3 attempts, they just win. I just think it's like... one of the wildest and most creative game ideas I've seen.
That is pretty creative, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. It is, yeah.
Wait, so does that mean that it's like all versus one? Like many versus one?
Yeah.
That's probably why we haven't played. We don't, like in our household, we don't tend to co-op or even semi-co-op, but like I like the sound of that premise. That sounds really cool.
Really like it. What I did find a little bit tricky about it though is that like, basically once you've played it, you can play that same scenario as the mastermind, but you can't play it again as a player because you already know what the mastermind's going to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And in practical terms, I have one particular friend that I basically play almost all my games with. So with the 2 of us, we could never really play the same scenario.
Well, that becomes more almost like an escape room or something like once you've kind of seen the puzzle, it's like, okay, well then you'd have to kind of move it along sort of thing. Yeah.
Have you tried the new version from WizKids or just the original?
I have the relatively new version from a couple of years ago, I think. Which might be... I don't remember who published it. I'm sorry.
At least it's WizKids. It's WizKids stateside.
Yeah.
Oh.
The WizKids picks up all kinds of random stuff. They go everywhere from like light card games to like Imperium.
I enjoy that game, but I usually bring the team down.
It's great. It's just hefty.
Yeah, I think it is also, because it kind of ends up being a bit of a logic puzzle, it's also, you have to be a particular kind of person to really enjoy it. Like it's...
deduction.
There's a lot of deduction, and there's not a super huge amount of interaction, I guess, in the sense that because the scenario is pre-generated, the mastermind doesn't get to choose what the scenario is, so...
It sounds fun, though.
Yeah, it's neat. I'd love to show you who published it, but it is all the way in the other room, and I just don't have the energy to find it. It's at least 10 steps, and I just can't do that. I can't do that today.
10 steps? Wow, that's a lot. Sorry.
I went to the gym on Tuesday, and I did squats, and now every step has to be considered carefully, because anytime I take a step, it's a bad time.
Yeah.
I ran into the same problem at my improv class this evening. A lot of squats happened.
Oh, no.
What?
I hate to think what the suggestion was that led to that.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the prompt?
Yeah, what's the prompt?
Personal trainer.
Oh yeah, okay.
We ended up in a spot where someone said something to the effect of the heart is the hardest muscle to squat.
I thought you were going to say the prompt was like decisions you'll regret tomorrow, because squats would absolutely fit that for me. Yeah?
I've never not regretted doing squats. Anyway, so
people keep telling you good things will happen.
Do you do a lot of squats for Tokyo Game Market, Maggie?
Yeah.
I'm trying to sort of think back. Well, actually, it's usually historically, it was more of a lower back issue, because you always underestimate how many games you're going to end up with, because you're like, oh, they're little. It's little card games. And you bring a backpack, and then And
trolley.
sometimes you really struggle to find extra bags, and so eventually we learned the lesson, and we're like, okay, we need to just bring a little wheelie bag, so like a luggage on wheels,
like a shopper trolley.
Yeah, and so now
they banned those from Gen Con.
Did they?
Why?
Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't be able to like.
No, I bring my suitcase. I had no choice with my bad shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Like you want the carts. Like the cart is really annoying. Like
people keep hitting people with their roller bags, and it creates all
those
mobility and accessibility issues, especially because there were like 20 service dogs there this year, and the combination of not watching your roller bag and a service dog is a mess.
Oh,
yeah.
The current crusade is against those big board game backpacks. People will bring those onto the floor. There's a lot of people who want those banned as well.
It's because they are a hazard, and I myself, I'm guilty of that. Like you have it on your back, and you just like do that turn around, and you take out 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just lose like track of how big
you
are.
Don't know. It's hard to imagine that your back is suddenly like a foot and a half longer than you remember it being.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening here? Yeah.
There's no way you can squat with that bag on your back.
Depends on the games, right? If you're mostly full up on tiny trick takers, you're probably good.
It could be
That's probably it.
I do feel like there's a world where you can combine this situation and have like the service animals who can carry the games for you. I feel
like a mule. It's like
we're
we're banning mules carrying meals from Gen
They've
Con.
already got one job. They don't need 2.
That would have been great.
Why am I imagining a donkey?
Oh, I thought you were talking about America. Doesn't everyone have 2 jobs? I liked it.
Oh, I wish. So any other tips, preparing for our trip, if anyone who listened wants to go to Tokyo Games Market, or the cheap ticket, how do we get cheap ticket, or like?
So the tickets, they also do this strange thing where they have 2 entries. So they have like an early entry, and then they have like I can't remember if it's like I think it's like an 11 o'clock and then a 12 o'clock, or is it a 10 and an 11 o'clock? Anyway, so they've got two entries. But you can usually get tickets on the same day. The Saturday is usually the bigger day, in the sense of like that's where there's the most sort of games that are more kind of card games. The Sunday is more RPG, like tabletop sort of RPGs, rather than, and it's more quiet as a day. So it's really interesting. There are some booths that are there both days, but usually by and large, Saturday, is the bigger day. You can get tickets on the same day, so that's not really an issue, but usually it's for that later entry. So if you hadn't booked or reserved your games, then it's possible that the people that kind of got in an hour before you might be like, it'll sell out essentially with them. So to get that early ticket, you need to live in Japan, because they have this whole system of you need to get an SMS, and then they send you something to a physical address there that then you have to it's like the sort of complicated back and forth.
I like that
code thing. Yeah, they love sometimes a complicated process that makes
has somebody created a game about that? Wow, it could be a game on its own.
Yeah. So, but again, you can get into you can get on it for the same day, buy tickets on the same day, and then and you're fine. It's just the later entry, and that's usually enough time. You'll get enough time. It's not as big as a Gen Con or as any of those ones where you're like, oh no, I need 2-3 days. It's like usually 1 day.
We'll either have to keep all that in mind when we go, or we'll definitely have to meet up there sometime. It's definitely a bucket list trip for me as well.
Yeah. Well, chances are we'll be there if you whenever you you come over.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be 2-ish years before I think I'm in a space where I can actually make that trip work. But
fair enough. Yeah,
it's a bucket list one for sure.
Yeah,
bucket list.
Well, we're trying to I think now our bucket list thing is we did one trip where we just rented a car and drove around the more rural areas of Japan, and that was so beautiful. So now we actually just want to hire eventually a little camper, a camper van, and do a bit of camping along the way. So because it's like obviously Tokyo is really cool, the big cities are very cool, but as soon as you go out into those kind of rural areas, it's just so stunning, and people are so nice, and the food is incredible, and every area has their own specialty. So some of them are about pottery, and some of them are about crafts of different types, and it's just, yeah, it's such a sense of pride in like their specialty in each area. So it's just really beautiful as an experience, essentially. Yeah.
I've been to Japan, I think, once, and the people are really, really friendly. Although English is a barrier, they still really try when I got lost, and they really try to help you. And I even left my whole backpack with my wallet, and they found it. And then my friend happened to be in Tokyo as well, and she just shipped everything back home. Like on the train, I left the whole backpack. Somebody found it, put it in lost and found, and then the backpack and all the wallet and all the money came back to me. Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're incredibly honest and very service oriented as well. Which is
Well, for our listeners, if you're planning on making the trip to Tokyo Game Market, make sure to try and catch ThinkerThemer there. But for everyone else, thanks so much for listening. Hope we made a good companion for your driving, your house chores, your routines, your Japan trip planning. Once again, if you've enjoyed the podcast, you could follow us, leave us a review. We'd really appreciate it. But either way, we'll catch you in our next episode. Thanks again to Maggie for joining us, and welcome again to Isabel.
Thanks, Maggie, and welcome, Isabel.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks, Maggie.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Catch you later.